it took the best part of 450 years for something of the mystery of the Blessed Trinity to be penetrated. So it is not simple. Many steps were taken, clarifying individual issues, often against tendencies to be incomplete. At one point, it is said that it was Athanasius against the world. He realized the danger of undermining certain profound issues. It was not enough to say he was homoousios, was of a similar substance. He was homoousios, he was consubstantial of the same substance. And so on it went. It was made more complex by the fact that in particularly the East, the emperor was part of the force to opt for some kind of incomplete doctrine. Rome always remained firm, and there was actually in the early church that instinct, even from the East, to look towards Rome for firmness. There was the intuition that the Petrine promise held out against the attacks from the underworld. And there we have precisely the claiming of the promise of the Lord, that he would actually, through the Spirit, continue his teaching ministry until the end of time in the church that he was founding. There is the Eastern way of seeing the Father as fontal and of seeing the Son and the Spirit proceeding from him. The way that we have in the West is that of the self-understanding of the Father, the Logos, the Word, but then that bond between them as being so powerful and intense, it is actually personal, and that the Spirit then is this back and forth breathing, this relationship, this personal relationship. It is the Spirit, the third person, proceeding from the Father and the Son. Now the Creed without the expression from the Son is complete. It is true, but we have with the centuries in the West understood that this is this element of reciprocal breathing and handing on, of actually this relationship which is personal, and therefore we have this profound understanding of the circumincession, the continuous internal life, this movement within the Blessed Trinity which is love. All the time there is energy of love, and that is the movement in which we are caught up. Therefore all our praise and worship must be in that ambience of a movement of love. And all our life must be too. We cannot be serving that Trinity, that power, well if we are emitting bitter things, especially if we claim God's authority to do so, e.g. by trying to justify a position and getting into hateful mode, spiteful mode, name-calling even. It has no sense if we're honouring the Lord of peaceful love and glory. He is a God of concord, not discord, as St. Paul reminds us while writing to the somewhat chaotic Corinthians. And so, this passage from the book of Proverbs could have been a problem, because there was a tendency, which began with Arius, to say that there was a time when the Son was not, and there is this element of not seeing the fullness and equality of the persons of the Trinity. With regard to the reading from the letter to the Romans, we have the centrality of the person of Christ, and we have also this identification of the love of God with the Spirit. Even though it is not explicit, it is hinted at, because the love of God has been poured into our hearts by the Holy Spirit which has been given us. The Spirit is love. We see the Father as power, we see the Son as wisdom, and we see the Spirit as love. It is all goodness, it is all love. And so all that we do for God must be based in that atmosphere. And our liturgy should be a peaceful place of encounter. God is not honoured well by high-powered and spectacular noise. It is not his mode of operation. He prefers that openness of spirit which is greatly helped by uplifting, harmonious, genuine beauty. Music, when profound, has a profound impact on the deepest level of the soul, and we honour greatly the fount of beauty, which is the Blessed Trinity, when we reproduce in our churches, both in the furnishing of it, the cleanliness of it, and in the use of it by our liturgy, something of the order of heaven. Indeed, Pope Benedict used the way of beauty, the via pulchritudinis, as an extra way to prove not only the existence of God, but the beauty of our God. And so we have the Lord giving us in the Gospel the promise to carry on his teaching ministry. Let us bear in mind that also the people of God are part of this, insofar as when the whole people of God feels something strongly, it is also a way in which the Spirit is breaking forth. There have been times in church history when the people of God have sensed that something was not correct. It is called the sensus fidelium, the sense of the faithful. And I have many times talked to simple people who have had a great inward feeling that things going on in church, in the local church, were not according to the Spirit of God, that there was something jarring coming in which wasn't good. They couldn't put it into words, they didn't have the machinery, the vocabulary to do it with, but they knew and they were correct. This and this cannot be from God. So we need also to listen to this sense of the faithful, which is in us too, and also in general to be picking up the vibes from the Holy Spirit. But that can only happen easily if we reproduce in our being something of the order and the love and serenity of that Trinity from which we came and to which in time we calmly go.